morning and welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We are here on site, on location in Buffalo, New York, just a little ways away from my hometown, Syracuse, New York, and the home of the Bryant and Stratton College Bobcats. And I am so happy to be here with you, and we appreciate you for being here on the broadcast on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We're coming to you an hour early. You know that our show is Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. But this time around, because we have practice this morning, we are changing things up here, coming to you at 8 o'clock so that we can make our 10 a.m. practice for the national tournament for the USCAA. And your Bryant and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are the number one seed in the entire country. I'm here with head coach Clay Gagen-Sherman. Clay, how are you?
Good morning. Doing well. Excited.
So I want to go to something that you said to me off the air. You slept with adrenaline. What does that mean?
I don't know. I was just laying in bed trying to sleep, and just felt my body. I just felt adrenaline in my body. Just really excited for the moment and this tournament, and just taking it in. Just really enjoying this group and taking in the experience. So, but definitely ready to get going. Today's gonna be a long day in anticipation for tomorrow.
And when we look at today, because we got down here yesterday, and the first game is on Tuesday. That's when the teams are playing. That's when Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse is playing. So looking at this in-between day, there's so many things going on. There's practice. There's a dunk contest. I heard you're going to be a part of it. There's a three-point contest. I heard I'm going to be a part of it. So, but there's a lot of things going on, and there's a banquet tonight. There's an award ceremony. So just what you could say about everything that today is, because you're locked in for the game, you're scheming and you're planning for the game, but at the same time we have all these extracurriculars going on.
Yeah, it's a day where you really get in the mode in the national tournament mode. We go to the venue. There's 30 some on other teams there. And guys get a taste of like what the national tournament atmosphere is, and it gives us some time to kind of settle into that environment with all the energy and everything, and at the same time have some fun. Once again, enjoy the moment, enjoy the tournament, and then after all that, you got to kind of refocus and do your final preparation. So today we're kicking off with our final practice before our game, and then after everything tonight, we'll meet again as a team, go through, our scout, which the guys should know like the back of their hand at this point. But just kind of touch on that again, go through what the schedule is for tomorrow, and really lock in and get in that mode.
Yeah, and you talk about locking in. What do you want to see from them at practice? Obviously you want guys to bring energy, but what is it about practice that you really key in on? You've been doing this for a while. You came to Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse. You started the women's basketball program. You took over the men's basketball program. You've done something so few people will ever do in life, which is be a head coach, let alone a head coach of two programs, and doing it on the men's and women's side of athletics. So all the years that you've spent, what are you looking for in practice today?
Sharpness. We're definitely going to be – the energy is going to be in the right place. Guys are going to be excited, but being sharp, moving fast, talking, just looking game ready, kind of like our everyday drills that we have with goals, just going through those, with sharpness, and then after that, just reviewing our points of emphasis for tomorrow's game, going through some boxing out, going through some attacking the zone, going through all those things that we're going to need in the game tomorrow, making sure those are fresh in our minds. So when we're out there tomorrow, we know what we got to do. So
we've been here before, but being a number one overall seed, just what you could say about that. When we were sitting there, obviously, just a few days ago, last week, I had the opportunity to MC the event and be there, watch the selection show with the team live. We find out that we're the number one team in the country. Bring me into that moment.
Yeah, that was a special moment for sure. We knew going into the selection show, obviously we had a good chance, but being number one is definitely, a couple years ago when we took over the program, it was a regular season goal of ours. Last year when we lost, and the last 2 years when we lost the first round, we really understand the importance of matchups in that first round. For us, the matchup that we got, it's going to be a tough game. Berkeley's a very good team. We played them twice, but we've beaten them. So going into today's game, we know we can, or into tomorrow's game, we know it's a team that we can beat. Being number one, it does, in a sense, put a little bit of pressure on you. You don't want to be an upset in the first round, but at the same time, the seed's not that matters. It isn't what matters anymore. It's a new tournament. The seed, the record, none of that matters. What matters is winning. So we just got to show up ready to go and, fight. The team that's going to fight more and play defense harder is going to win the game.
You and I talked about this team and a difference that I feel, and I was with David Honoré and Dallas Carrington when we were sitting having the conversation on campus at Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse, and I said the air is different, the feeling's different. There's something about this team that's more. Like, you guys have had talent before, but culture, and I think it's funny when people say, culture's an overused word and this and that, but I find myself so much, and it really doesn't matter what sport, I always find my mouth talking to my brain and leading to that word of culture. Mm-hmm. But with this team, I just see a difference. It's not sheer talent anymore. It's not just talent. It's these talented guys that joke around with each other, have a good time, have just respect for the game. I think respect for each other, respect for you. I mean, there was a moment yesterday, like I had talked to you about, where, we're all getting on the bus and somebody says like a swear word and you said, hey, and he said, sorry, coach, I apologize, and then carried on, and like little things like that. So it just feels like there's a cultural evolution of this Bobcat team, and I'd love for you to speak on that.
Yeah, definitely. We have some great leadership from our players and our team, and I think that really started, with the returners that we had from last year. We brought back the right guys. We were really excited about kind of the foundation that we had established the first couple of years. We knew the guys coming back were all in on the direction that we were looking to take this program. And then, the new guys that we brought in, there were several junior college transfers that came from very successful programs that played for very good coaches. And we were looking for those guys to bring in what they learned, what they did, how they operated in their junior college programs, and help us raise the bar in our program. And I think that's exactly what happened. You talk about Dallas and Dave. Those guys came from Hostos. They went to a national tournament last year. Dream and Tim, they came from Monroe Express. They have an amazing program. Really well ran. You talk about Jordan and Keon, those guys coming from Mohawk Valley. Once again, another team that went to a national tournament at the junior college level. We had a good foundation of returners the last couple years that were going to do the right things and lead by example. And then we were fortunate enough to bring in talented junior college transfers that have came from successful programs with great coaches, and they brought, their culture into our culture at Bryant and Stratton to help us raise that bar.
And when you look at junior college, just kind of where that fits in for you when you are recruiting, what can you say to the junior college student athlete and what you like about that? Because you mentioned bringing guys in, and you mentioned a place like Hostos that I've heard so many things about, because having OCC in the community of Syracuse, like, that's a team where there's a challenge that comes from playing a team like that. So when you look at junior college, where does that fit in, and what can you say about the junior college student athlete and maybe the benefits that come from recruiting someone like that?
They got, obviously, the experience, on the court. They're a little more developed. They can hold their own physically, being a little bit older. They've kind of gone through those growing pains, and they can play defense. They know what it takes to win. They know how to accept roles. They've already kind of been through that process. And then academically, again, they've learned to manage their time with the junior college guys that we had came in. You know, haven't had many academic issues with anybody. Like they know what it takes to be successful. So after all that, you know, you can kind of just focus on basketball a little bit more with them if they have those things in check. And, you know, they come in ready to impact the program both on and off the court. And that's, you know, like I said, we were fortunate this year to have a lot of guys that were able to do that for us.
And you have a guy on your team in Jordan Drain. You and I were talking about him off the air yesterday. The interesting thing about Jordan is it's really just, when I think about him specifically, it's going all the way back to the beginning. You telling me, you know, there's this guy, and you were always confident you were going to get him. Mm-hmm. And then you bring him on campus. I happened to be on campus, met him, shook hands with him, and you introduced him to me. Nice kid. And ever since then, if I saw him anywhere, from that one interaction, he would say, "Hey, what's up? Like, how you doing, Dan?" and all that stuff. It just always appreciative, always kind. Didn't come at you with any type of arrogance or like, I'm that dude. But then you look at him statistically, and he is that dude. So, I mean, we have the banquet tonight, and there's the thought, the hope, the impression that he could be the National Player of the Year. Yeah,
I mean, Jordan's a program changer. You know, he's the Player of the Year at Mohawk Valley, his season there. You know, I personally think he's hands down the Player of the Year. He impacts both sides of the ball like nobody else. He shoots the highest percentage from the field in the country. You know, he's second in rebounding, first or second in blocks. And, I mean, a dominant force, obviously, on both sides of the ball. You know, Jordan, and like you said, he's a great leader. You know, he's not always the most vocal, but he is someone that's an everyday guy. You know, he shows up, he puts in the work, he puts in the reps, he's a good teammate, he's a good leader. And when, you know, debatably the most talented player in the country is on your team and he does all those things, it has a big ripple effect through the locker room. And, you know, we're super fortunate to have Jordan, and, you know, I hope he does get that honor tonight because he's had an incredible season. And, you know, a lot of his numbers aren't what they would have been, because some games we won quite a few games by a decent amount where he didn't play as much. So a few guys average a few more points and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, nobody's impacted winning like he has this season. So really proud of him.
What did you see in him that just kind of gave you this belief that he, like you said, he's a program changer? Mm-hmm. You kind of knew that.
Yeah.
In the beginning. I mean, when you spoke with me about him and you would just make mention of him, it was like you already saw that. So he's done it. He's done the work. He's put the work in. He's part of this number one seeded Bobcats team in the national tournament, trying to win a national championship in the USCAA. So what was it in your scout of him, in your recruit of him, in your watching of his film or going to see him that you saw that? Because I'm going to call you Clay Stradamus a little bit here because you kind of picked up on something with him.
He's just, you know, honestly, there's not too many guys that are 6'7", 230 that can move like that with the skill set he has. You know, grab a rebound, go coast to coast, do a left-handed in and out, and then, you know, finish an and one or shoot whatever his percent is. His percent's not as high as it has been at his other schools from three, but the dude can shoot the basketball. So at this level, there aren't really guys that big that are that skilled. And you just got to watch the tape, and it kind of all stands out. And, you know, we knew if we got him, he was going to change a lot of things for us.
Darren Joyner, who's going to join me on the broadcast this morning here on Wake Up Call. Once again, we are on site, on location in Buffalo for the USCAA National Tournament for Division I inside of the USCAA. I'm here with the Bobcats. I will be with the Bobcats all week long is our plan. That is what we're here for. It is a business trip. We got down here on Sunday. Friday is the national championship game. So Darren Joyner is going to be joining me in just a little bit. Darren's one of those guys that I just feel like he's been here forever. And talking with him the first time and being around him, I just appreciated his energy, and now all these years later, it's like it doesn't go away. To me, he's a constant. He's a consistent. He's that piece where I'm like, man, if I'm a coach, I'd be happy to have Darren Joyner. Speak to that since you are his coach.
Yeah, I mean, Darren's been my dude since day one. First part of my first recruiting class, he started every single game that I've coached on the men's side. He started every game at point guard. And we mentioned with Jordan, an everyday guy. Darren has been an everyday guy ever since he stepped on campus, in the weight room, on the basketball court, in the film sessions. Immediately after a game, Darren is on the bus on his laptop watching the film immediately, not just for his highlights, watching the film, breaking it down. And to have someone at the point guard position that ultimately I can trust Darren with anything. Like basketball matchups, obviously, running offense, obviously.
Yeah.
But, if I need something, Darren's he helped me change a tire last year on my car. So, Darren is literally, he's been a rock of this program since he's been here. And, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, like just taking in this tournament and this experience, this is our last shot at it. I'm not going to take that for granted. So we're going to leave everything out there and really go for this championship. And it starts with being ready to go tomorrow against Berkeley.
Got something that came in from the new men's soccer head coach at Bryant and Stratton College, Syracuse, Stu Flaherty. Said, why am I interviewing a GOAT if you guys are the Bobcats, considering you the greatest of all time?
Jeez. We'll see how this tournament goes before I answer that question.
Darren Joyner, and I mean, looking at Darren, which we just talked about, and as well as Shamari, these guys, you talked about, you're not taking for granted that this is one last road for him. These are for them. These are your seniors. These are not only senior guys, they're leaders, right? There's teams that have seniors, that have veterans on their squad, but maybe those guys aren't playing that much. Maybe they're not making an impact, right? Maybe they're not people that you can lean on. To go into Shamari a little bit too, knowing that this is one final road, I was thinking about that yesterday, feeling the weight of that. Like, I want these guys to play for a national championship. I want the guys coming back to play for a national championship because I want them to tell the guys coming in, we did it, this is how you do it, and we're hungry. We're not here to just have a meal. We're here to eat for life. Right. So there's that coming back thing. But then for Shamari and Darren, I don't want to see them see anything other than a national championship. So just to speak to their leadership and what they mean to the team collectively and how that's maybe on your heart or on your mind that you want to see them get the opportunity to go the distance.
Yeah, I mean, last year we said we're done playing consolation games. These guys, like, it's about that next step. And, I want that for this team. I want that for these guys so bad because we've been dreaming of this in a sense for 3 years. Mm-hmm. And now we're just at the point of the season. Obviously, we got a great opportunity to do it. Nothing would make me more happy than seeing those guys happy after winning on Tuesday. They deserve it. They put in the work, but now it's about going out there, fighting for it, and taking it. And, I'm confident that those two guys are going to be the leaders and setting the tone in that game. But, yeah, I want nothing more than for those two guys to experience winning in this tournament from day one.
Is there any superstition for you? Is there any, like, I've done this the last couple of years, so I have to not do this, I have to change up my routine, or I have to keep this routine? Is there something to that for you? Because we are in Buffalo, and there are Bills fans, and there's a lot of superstitions. So I gotta ask you, like, is there a superstition or two, or is there something that you're changing this year?
Nothing too crazy. Okay. Kind of sticking to the routines and everything. I will say, and I think I mentioned it on your show a while back, like kind of like my thing, and I don't know if you picked up on it, or like the icebreaker mints. That's kind of like my
last night
thing is like to eat those.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned that on your show probably a few years ago, and before I came out, my father-in-law Kevin, I asked I needed some dress socks, so he brought me some dress socks that let me borrow some. But then he put a thing of the mints next to the socks, and when I came in the house, I had those, and those are almost already gone, Kevin. So, appreciate that. But those are kind of like my thing that just keep me busy.
And those are already gone, Kevin. You're supposed to be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
For game. So, Kevin, bring the icebreaker mints. I mean, we do have a grocery store not too far away, but I think it means more if it comes from you, Kevin. So, in this anticipation, what do you want people to know about this team, about the Bobcats? You got Coach X, you got Coach Nolan, you have the support of Mary Hawkins and Brooke Parro, you have the student athletes, and we've spoken about some of them. What do we need to know about this squad that you are most proud of, that you lean on the most, that you value the most?
I would say that we're here trying to prove that we're the best small college basketball team in the country. And, it's not just what we do on the court, but how we carry ourselves this week. But, that's a goal for this program, is to be the best small college basketball program in the country. And this week we have an opportunity to prove that.
That coming here from Clay Gagen-Sherman, the head coach of the Bryant and Stratton College's Syracuse Bobcats. Before I let you go and get ready for Coach X, because we will take a step aside for a fast break, we are here inside of the Travel Great Lakes Honda City studios. And if you knew Clay's situation, you got to get yourself to Great Lakes Honda City. So we got to make that happen. Make a call, Kate. So let's get into rapid fire really quick here. You've been gracious about answering my questions, so I will defer to you, and you can put me on the hot seat. Whatever you want to ask.
The hot seat. I wasn't prepared for the hot seat today, but did you eat breakfast downstairs yet?
I did not eat breakfast. I woke up very late because I was up late.
Dang, I was gonna say what was the best thing downstairs for breakfast?
Did you have breakfast?
I did. It was definitely the waffles, blueberry waffles. Okay. Make your own blueberry waffles, so.
Okay, make your own blueberry waffles. Yeah, because of. And for some that know, because of like tooth surgery and whatnot, I've had to be very strategic.
Yep.
Like I came down here.
They have oatmeal.
Oh, they do? Okay. I got a bunch of waters. I have pudding in my fridge. Like I had all this stuff set up and be my own travel nurse, so to speak. So, I probably would have to go with some oatmeal if they had maple and brown sugar oatmeal. That's my go-to.
Okay.
Cinnamon my second, maple and brown my first. All right, go ahead. What you got? What else you got for me?
Geez, man. You gonna make a half court shot today? What's up?
I know in practice that all I want to do is just I wanted to be able to shoot. I want to be able to get out on the court. It's extremely hard for me to go to any game anywhere at any time, see a court, see a hoop, and not like pick up a stray basketball or go grab one and shoot. And I do that after your games a lot. I did it after the women's final regular season game for Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse this year. So I would say, yes, I will attempt my half-court shot, but I will be working in my game in general beforehand. I want to get comfortable. The problem with me right now is that I don't shoot as much as I should, and I don't practice as much as I should. So when I get out there, I'm cold and I'm raw. And so I want to get into a little groove, and then I want to throw it out there.
Okay.
But we will
see.
say that Clay is one of 3 people and one of 3 locations in Central New York that watched me not only make a half-court shot, but it was the first attempt.
I was there. I was impressed.
I told you I needed 5, and like I said, I'll never forget. Clay walked up to me and said, he handed me the basketball, and he said, "You said you needed 1, right? Just 1 shot." So. For you, final note here, as we step into practice and as we get into this moment, just as a head coach, what you've learned about yourself, because you feel different. I've known you for a long time. Mm-hmm. And you feel, in a good way, you feel different to me today. I'm seeing something in you that's different now. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, I would just say, in the past, I may have put extra pressure, on the situation and, been so focused on the game plan that you kind of get wrapped up in it, tied up in it, and hyper focused on it. But, I would say like this year, I think I just have a confidence in the team and what we've been doing all season, that I'm just trying to enjoy the moment and, have fun with the tournament. And, obviously, we're going to lock in and be ready to play and go over everything. But I think just trusting what we've done all season and again, just being more relaxed, obviously, when the game comes, and we're going to have energy and all that, everything like that. But I'll just say, like, this year, I'm just not working myself up as much about just, the game and just enjoying the moment and enjoying the guys. And, I know when the game comes, we'll be ready.
Yeah, I think you've definitely learned, grown, and evolved, and I think we're going to see that in the tournament this year, which I'm very excited about. Coach X is up next.
Yes,
What do you want the world to know about X, which I found out yesterday has pretty awesome comedic timing?
Yeah, absolutely. Coach X, I mean, we're not the number one seed if he doesn't join us at the halfway of the semester this year. The guys were talking about recruiting another player potentially to the roster, to help us out a little bit, and having Coach X coming back and helping us, that was the best recruit that we could have got. He's a huge part of this program. Just what he does for me on the sideline, the input, the trust, the support. He really is my rock. When it comes to game time, and he gives me confidence as a head coach to make tough decisions at times. But like I said, we want to be the one seed if Coach X wasn't back with us this year, and he's also the first 1,000-point scorer in the program's history, and he's still with the program. So that shows how much our guys love our program.
And he also, when you watch something that I'm not going to say too much about, he also brings it when it comes to head-to-head conversations and somebody puts him on the line. He definitely brings it in.
Coach X doesn't back down. Definitely not. Never.
So just like Nolan against Brooke. He doesn't back down.
That's something like that.
We'll take a step aside for a fast break. Keep it here with us. We are up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora from the Travel Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Clay Gagen-Sherman, the head coach of the Bryant and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse, playing in the national tournament this week. Our plan is to be here for a business trip that doesn't end until late on Friday, and that is in the USCAA Division I National Men's Basketball Tournament. Mr. Sherman, appreciate you.
Thanks, Dan.
We'll talk with you in just a moment, folks. We'll take a step aside, and Coach X is up next, and I can't wait for this Barkley and Shaq conversation. It's going to be fun.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942. And tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge, and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item, available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand butter chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, on site, on location, as we are here in Buffalo, New York for the USCAA Division I Men's Basketball National Tournament, and your Bobcats are the number 1 seed in the nation. I am here with Coach X. Everybody knows you as X.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know it's Xavier, and to just share with everyone your actual full name, because no one hears it.
So my name is Xavier Norgeby. That's my full name, but the short is X. It's just something that, you know, with Xavier, everybody goes X or Professor Xavier. So it's just just a number of things you could do with it.
On the basketball floor, to be the first person in Bryant and Stratton, Syracuse men's basketball history to reach 1,000 points. Did they call you Professor X?
No, they just said Xavier Norgeby on the speaker. It was pretty good moment, honestly. I remember it was with another 1,000-point score that night, Amanda Cruz. So we both scored 1,000 that night against Buffalo. So that's a great moment that we always remember.
1,000 points each against Buffalo. Fast forward, assistant coach in Buffalo with the nation's top seed. Thoughts on that?
It's just a blessing, honestly. Like, I think, you know, it's just a moment that, you know, you got to enjoy. Probably, like I said, it's just a blessing overall to be able to play with Bryant, Stratton College in Syracuse and then be able to be assistant coach. I'm just so thankful for the opportunity. You know, Clay has been very helpful and, you know, been kind to bring me back, as well as Coach Dan Frasina, who was the first one who brought me on to the staff.
What made you choose Bryant and Stratton, Syracuse?
The school?
Yeah.
So at the time being, I just finished my 2 years with Cayuga Community College. I was really looking for another school at the time being, but I met Coach Dan, and he was a very good guy. He asked me if, you know, I was still interested in playing basketball because he heard a referral from my teammate Kobe at the time, who was committed here. And then we spoke about it a bit. Then I met somebody at the admissions office, Melissa Salter, and she was very like a heartwarming person, just kind to me. She made me feel welcome and stuff like that. And even though I was still trying to brush her off, she kept on calling me consistently, like, hey, I think you should come here. This is an opportunity. I'm like, but at the time being, I was like, I have some things I want to handle. Yeah. And she was just very understanding to it, but she kind of like persuaded me to try it out. And then I came here and got a great opportunity. So I'm grateful for her as well.
Would you pick Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse, knowing everything you know now? Would you pick it again?
I would definitely pick it again. Not just for the basketball, but just for the educational standpoint of it all. During my time here, I've been more focused. I've been able to get the support and help from the staff and faculty. So I think that was a very great move for me because academically, I was pretty good. It's just that I was kind of lazy. So like when it comes to school, it's like, it's whatever. But I mean, the faculty is like, it's a small knit group, so they're always trying to stick together and just help you and guide you to be successful academically. So I think I would definitely pick it again.
When you, and it's great to hear, working with the student athletes, like you said, you weren't a bad student, just maybe had those moments of laziness, right?
Yes.
To put the work in. So how can you kind of meet them at their place with the current student athletes on the team, that if they're having one of those moments, that you could say, I was at this school, I've been there, I've done that, I didn't want to do this, or I was lazy with this, or I learned something from that. How can you help the team right now in this moment as an assistant coach, saying, I've been through the process, I've been in this program. Yeah. I've gone through and gotten my degree, so just what you can say to that.
Honestly, just tell them, like, just look at me from where I started from. Most of them are from New York City, so I'm from New York City as well.
What
So
part?
I'm from the Bronx.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
So-
you're a Yankee fan?
I am a Yankee fan. Yeah.
Giants fan?
Giants fan, not Jets.
Okay.
Only Giants, Yankees, and Knicks, not
And
Nets.
Knicks.
Yep.
Not Nets.
Not
Okay.
Nets. So I'm
The New
pretty,
Jersey Nets.
yeah. So I mean, pretty much I grew up in the Bronx. And then when I came up here, I didn't know what was Central New York. To be honest, like all I seen for Central New York was Syracuse University.
Yeah.
So the opportunity to just like where I'm from and then where I'm at now, I tell them like, you know, it's not just about basketball, because after basketball you may never know. You may not. I wanted to be a professional basketball player. Then COVID happened. A lot of things happened. But then I got the opportunity to be an academic advisor with Bryant Stratton College due to my education. And I got that chance now to be working at, you know, a higher establishment in Syracuse, at Syracuse as well. So I always tell them, you know, always use your education as a fallback plan, because you may never know where you want to be, and it can take you further than you think. So that's the thing I try and tell the students, just to stay motivated and keep them going.
You played for Danny Frisina,
Mm-hmm.
the first head coach in Bryant and Stratton College, men's basketball history at Syracuse.
Mm-hmm.
What was it about Danny that made you believe, like, this is my coach, this is the right coach, this is the right program? What is it about him that stuck out to you?
Coach Dan was a good guy, man. Pretty much he was always understanding, and he always reached out to me if I was in the need of help. The thing about him is that he wanted to see me succeed as well. So I feel like, you know, I wanted to be with a coach that would help me succeed on and off the court, and Coach Dan was definitely the guy for me. So I think that was what really made our relationship close. He was just a genuine guy.
What was the conversation like when he takes his former player and says, I want you to be my assistant?
It was a great moment, honestly. Like at first, I didn't want to be assistant coach, because I still thought I had a lot in the tank, and it kind of like I wanted to still play basketball. But he said that, and I'm like, maybe I should do this, because, you know, with the pro thing, and then a lot of things happened in my life, I should probably stay put and then do the assistant coaching. So that was a great opportunity for me, and I was very thankful for it. It got me into coaching, and it definitely bettered my understanding about basketball. It helped raise my IQ and stuff like that. So I definitely appreciate that opportunity.
And then Clay Gagen-Sherman's on the women's program. He starts the women's program at Syracuse, at Bryant and Stratton College, Syracuse. Danny starts the men's program. And then Clay, when Danny steps away, Clay takes over the men's program. What was that like, to be like, okay, I played for Danny. I'm Danny's assistant coach. How did you and Clay, was it like, I want to stay on, I want whoever the new head coach is to keep me here? Was it I think I'm leaving now because there's a new head coach coming in? Or because it's such a small, close-knit community at Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse, was it already like, hey, I got a good relationship with Clay, I got a shot? Like, bring me into that transitionary period.
So I already had a good relationship with Clay. I kind of helped him out sometimes with the girls when I'm not busy with the men's at that time. But when Danny stepped down, I believe Clay came up to me and said, you know, if I get the opportunity to coach the men's team, I would love to have you on the staff, because, you know, you've been around the guys for so long, and the relationship you have with them will help with us going forward. And I was really open to that, and I was like, you know, I really appreciate that opportunity, and I would love to continue that, because, you know, the environment we was at that time, I think was on was an uprise. Like every year was having a better team. So I said I want to continue that, and then hopefully bring back a national championship to Syracuse. So yeah.
And for you, when you played on the team, to being here right now, how have you seen the program evolve, rise, become what it is today?
The program definitely evolved a lot. I'll start from the talent standpoint. When we first started from my first year, we didn't have that much talent. We were still trying to get more players to the team. And then now we have a lot of players like Jordan, who's a monster, Darren, who's also a great player, Shamari. So, I mean, the program definitely has grown from a talent standpoint, also as well as just the facilities as well. Like, we started at Horns Company Gym. I don't know if you know that, downtown.
No.
And then, so it's like a little gym.
Oh,
on
no,
top.
I do remember.
Yeah.
It's by the press room.
Yeah. That little gym over there. And now we're practicing at Tip Hill Community Center. And then, you know, we have OCC as our main gym now. So that's pretty good. We have developed a lot over the past couple of years.
I asked Clay about this. What do you see? Because you've been with the men's program even longer than Clay. So from your playing days to right now, being a former student athlete, what does this group show you that makes you believe there's no smoke and mirrors, this number one seed is not a facade, that this is actually arguably, potentially the best team in the country?
We got brotherhood. I feel like we're very together. From top to bottom, everybody's close knit with each other. We can have the uncomfortable conversations with each other that we couldn't have before because it would probably put us in turmoil. But I feel like this year we're a close knit group, and that makes our mental toughness a lot better than what it was before. Because when we get into close situations or close games where we're being battle tested, I think we all come together and we know the end goal and we play for each other. So I love that about this group.
How did this group get that? Is it certain guys that came in this year? Is it certain guys that were here that evolved? How did it happen that you can have those difficult conversations that you couldn't have before, be constructive, and find a way forward together?
So I think it's a combination of both. We have Dallas, who have came in from Hostos. He's a pretty good vocal leader. He keeps guys together. He's a glue guy. Then we have Jordan, who's one of our top guys, and he's very selfless, and he's very helpful to everybody else. And then we have Shamari, who came back from last year. Last year, his mindset was a little bit different, but this year he's more about the team, and he's been committed to that. So, I feel like with that, the combination of everybody coming together and then working on the same goal, that has really brought us to this level that we are at now. We're playing our best basketball this time of the year, which I love to see, and I hope we continue with this week,
The best razzer on the team, when you hear these student athletes talk, does Jordan go after everybody? Is it just Keon?
Jordan goes after everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. Jordan will go after you. It could be me in the morning. He'll go after me. I remember we was at a game at Washington Adventist, and this was a serious moment, right? Me and Coach Clay I was trying to calm down Coach Clay on the sideline because the rest was having a hard day with us, and I know Clay was like trying to stay calm. So I grabbed him down, very close, and I spoke to him in some words. Here comes Jordan. Hey, yo, what are you guys doing? You guys are hugging? We better win if you guys are hugging. And I'm like, Jordan, relax. And then ever since that day, he has never let it down. He's like, I'm going to take a picture of you guys hugging and just post it up. So when we win the national championship, you guys will see this is what brought us together and made us the champions. And I'm like, Jordan, it's not that serious. So Jordan, it doesn't matter what the moment of time it is, he will always be Jordan. So that's one thing about him. You got to love that about him. So, yeah.
And Jordan, I was talking to Clay about this. He saw something in him in recruiting him, and it has shown itself.
Yeah.
This belief that he was talking to me about this guy being a huge piece, a program changer.
Yeah.
And then here we are sitting here today, where tonight we will have the USCAA banquet, and that's going to show us the National Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Is it Jordan Drain?
I believe it's Jordan Drain. Honestly, from a skill standpoint, he's a monster. He's definitely, I call him the Zach Randolph of college basketball, but he doesn't like that comparison because he can't really dunk. But other than that, he's a strong player. I feel like he does the total package. He's a double-double machine. I love his game when he attacks the basket. He gets rebounds. He can push the break for us. And he's just so strong when he gets to the basket. So I feel like, he really makes teams, he put teams in trouble. So I feel like he's definitely going to be the player of the year. If not, it'll be first team for sure.
Yeah, and you've mentioned so many different guys on this team. You came back. Bring me into what that was, because you're a student athlete, you're an assistant coach for Danny Frisina, you stay the assistant coach for Clay Gagen-Sherman. This year you come back at the second half of the season. So how does this all come about? How did you step away? How did you come back?
So pretty much I got an opportunity at Syracuse University to work there as an academic advisor. As my time there, I also got the opportunity to continue my education in higher ed. So I was doing classes last semester, and I'm doing it still now. But last semester, my workload was a little bit more rigorous. Yeah. So I had to step away last semester to focus on school and then work because I was still trying to get adjusted to that. However, this semester I felt more comfortable with it. And then Clay reached out to me, I think, at the beginning of the new year, just to wish me a happy New Year's, had a little conversation. And then he kind of reached out and said, hey, the opportunity is still there if you would like to come back. And then I'm a guy in the local area, so I'm in the YMCA's in the morning, and the guys are there too. So they see me playing like, Coach X, why don't you just come back and just help us out, finish off the season, and then it just kind of like everybody's coming in. I'm like, all right, I might as well just come back. and to see if I could be contribute to the team as much as I can. And I'm back now, so I'm happy about that opportunity. Really, number one in the nation. I can't ask for a better spot.
How much did you miss it when you had to step away?
I missed it a lot because I'm a basketball junkie, so I love and live basketball. And one thing about Bryant Stratton is I always have a love for Bryant Stratton Syracuse. The school's been good to me. The staff have been good to me. So I always have respect and love for the staff, from Clay to Dan Facina to Andre Pallone. Everybody over there has been very good to me. So I'm definitely grateful for Bryant Stratton. And like I said, like, I'm a basketball junkie. So when I'm not around basketball, it's like I'm itching. Like, what am I supposed to be doing? And when I got the opportunity, I said, you know what, I should definitely take it because this is what my calling is. Yeah, so.
What did it mean to you that Clay kept that door open and said, hey, I know you had to step away.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're doing some stuff for work and for your education and whatnot, but this opportunity is still here. What did it mean to you that he held that spot for? Because I feel like there's a Coach X seat on the bench. I don't think it's like an assistant coach seat. I think it's like that's X's seat. So if he comes back, what does it mean to you that he kept that seat for you?
It really meant a lot, honestly. Like, he was very understanding on my opportunity, and he always was open to me and always was willing to work with me no matter the situation. So I'm really, really grateful to Coach Clay about that. Honestly, like, you don't get the opportunity elsewhere. So it just shows me how much Bryant Stratton respects me as well, and that's how much I respect him. So it's definitely a brotherhood of me and him and Coach Nolan. So they'll always be my family, no matter the situation. Yeah.
What is it about Coach Knowles? What do you like about Nolan Cass?
So people don't know, Coach Nolan Cass was there when I was playing as well. He also was helping out. He's a great guy. He's a great soul. He always talking X and O's about basketball at any moment. So we could be having lunch, and the lunch food would start turning to X and O's, and you got to be ready for that. So you got to love Coach Nolan's attitude and, you know, his situation. Like, you know, today he has that one-on-one matchup. So it'll be really interesting to watch.
One-on-one matchup with Brooke Parrow, the new athletic director.
Yeah.
And this is part of the documentary, so I'm not going to give away anything that we talked about. But your thoughts?
Our AD gonna need some ice. She's gonna need some ice.
Okay.
She's gonna need
Is
some
he an
ice.
ankle breaker?
He's gonna be today.
Okay.
He's going to be today. Yeah. Today he might break a lot of ankles for us. I mean, she's gonna need some ice.
His face does not change.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, he
Yeah.
just does not change.
That's
I
his
feel like
game
if he's
face.
down by 5, he's up by 5. If he's up by 5, he's down by 5. Like, I feel like he's gonna say something today
Yeah.
that's just gonna make me laugh.
Yeah.
Because he'll just look at her, whether she made a shot or he made a shot, and he's gonna be like, "You all right? What's going on?" Like, I just feel like he's gonna have something very subtle, but it's gonna hit.
Yeah, Nolan's not really of a trash talker. He's more of he's just a humble guy. He's just there just to have fun and just do his job. So I think he's just gonna straight out, beat her. And he's going to be humble about it because, that's still his boss. At the end of the day, you don't want to say nothing to your boss. Like, hey, really, don't watch it now. So, yeah, you definitely want to be careful what you say to your boss.
X, I have appreciated and felt energy from you when you were working with Danny.
Yeah.
And that continues with Clay. So for me, I want to say two things. One, I'm happy that you're here today because it's the first time you've been on Wake Up Call.
Thank you.
Secondly, I want to apologize that it took so long.
Yeah, I was wondering, what happened? Why I didn't get that call, especially after my 1,000 points. I didn't get that call. I'm like, oh, man. So I guess I didn't do enough.
No,
So.
nothing of that whatsoever. But I was sitting here saying, I was like, why don't I have Coach X on the show? Like, I should have you on here.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if we haven't done something yet, it's because we just haven't got to it. I love when people come up and they're like, hey, what about this? What about this? And I'm like, I'm always open to tell a story. But to me, something inside of me was like, I know Clay's the head coach and I know he's leading the program, but you've had such a place at Bryant and Stratton.
Yeah.
And all jokes aside, I respect the fact that there's an energy that people have. And I consider myself one of those people that can feel that energy that God allows me to kind of sense. And so I've never said this to you before, but I just feel like you're the type of person where you can meet someone the first day, and if they just kind of get who you are and what you're about, and they carry themselves in a positive light and in a good way, and you do it the same way. I feel like you're one of those guys where I've never said it to you. We've never sat down and had a fireside chat, just you and I.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm like, X is one of those guys, like if you got him, he's got you.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair. That's 100% me. I feel like, loyalty is big to me. I'm very family knitted, so I think it came from my family. We're very loyal to each other, so I think that's just something I just try and give out to everybody who's around me and have my back. So I'll have their back to the very end, and that's what I try to do for Bryant Stratton as well.
Coach X here with us. We're going to do something on the show we call Rapid Fire.
Okay.
So you get to put me on the hot seat and ask me anything you want.
Okay.
And based on your conversations that I listened to and watched yesterday on the bus and during dinner, I don't know why I'm putting myself in this situation.
All right.
But go ahead.
All right. So for my first question is, who will you compare Jordan to?
Jordan Drain?
Yes. What's his comparison, NBA comparison? Because he thinks he's LeBron James. And I'm trying to get that out of his head.
I don't want him to be LeBron. LeBron has no sportsmanship. So I was
man. I'm just saying skill-wise, he's not LeBron James skill-wise. I give him so I said, well, before you give your comparison, I'm going to tell you what I gave him. I gave him a little bit of mellow with no jump shot back in high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I could respect that because you're talking about a program changer, Melo was.
Yeah.
A game changer, Melo was. And, yeah, I think that's a really good comparison. Right now, the NBA, right? See, that's the thing is, like, my love for the NBA, it's different. Like, I respect the NBA, but it's different now. I feel like there's a lack of team now. Like, I watch college basketball, and when they don't play like a team, I don't want to watch them. When they don't run plays, I don't want to watch them.
Yeah.
And it's the reason why I struggle with the NBA. But right now, who would I put him as? I mean, I guess I would say that he has the ability to change something, but also a guy who is who he is, but stays level-headed. I think he's gonna like this. I'd give him a little KD love.
Oh God.
I give him a little KD love.
He's gonna run with this all weekend. Oh God. I hope he doesn't see this.
I give him a little KD love.
I hope he sees this after the tournament because he's gonna start pulling up jump shots like KD. Oh God.
I want him to play his game.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you right now, the first three that he hits in this tournament, the first big game jumper, I'm gonna lean to you and I'm gonna go, KD, I told you.
You see, that's why I told him he didn't get no dunks this week. I said he's not gonna get no dunks this week because I want him to be aggressive this week. So I said that.
Okay.
But we'll see.
I give him a little KD love.
All right.
What's your next question?
So my next question, since we're in March, right, we're talking about college basketball. What 4 teams do you think have the best chance of winning a championship this year, national championship?
So easy to pick two of them for me. Duke.
Okay.
And I know people are, that's the favorite. Da da da. John Shire, being around him and talking with him, interviewing him a bunch of times.
Yeah.
I just really get why people want to play for the guy. So I have a lot of respect for him. I have a lot of respect for how he does it. I think he can still recruit in this era of basketball.
Yeah.
So I think for me, there's definitely something to be said about Duke, about their talent. Obviously, Cooper Flagg's incredible.
Yeah.
And I want to give a shout out to the Bruno family, to Brian and Renee. They actually have known Cooper since he was 7 years old, growing up in May. Okay. So when he came to the Dome, they got to spend some time with him. Their son got to go and hang out with him. I was like, how'd you get back here, in the hallway where the media's at? And this, we've known Cooper forever. Oh, wow. So I think Duke's got a really good shot. I feel good about Duke, and I have felt good about Duke before I started hearing they're the favorite, blah blah blah.
Okay.
But I feel like St. John's, man. I never count out Rick Pitino.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. This whole thing about how we got to this point of Rick Pitino's let go at Louisville, and then it's what's he gonna do? And I'm like, he's gonna coach. Then he goes to Iona, and I was like, obviously this guy is finding his way back. I said he's going to a program where he could still coach. He could be at the Division I level, but he can lay low. And once he thinks enough time's passed and people have kind of forgiven or whatever, he will jump right back into it. I'm not surprised he's in the Big East. I'm not surprised he's back at home inside of that conference. And then he's with St. John's. Nothing inside of me thinks that you could take St. John's lightly. I think if they win the Big East tournament, they're a 1 seed. If they don't, then I think that they're a 2 seed if they go far into it, play into the championship. But I think a 1 or a 2 St. John's, I think really any seed that they are. But if you got a 1 or a 2 St. John's on one side of the bracket, I think it's going to be really difficult for me to not pick them to make the Final Four.
Okay.
So I think Duke and St. John's. I mean, I don't want to count out UConn.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I think
champs.
right, and back-to-back champs, Dan Hurley. There's a swagger to it. The thing about Hurley is like if you hate UConn and you hate what they're doing, like he's not the type of guy to be quiet about it. He's the type of guy to be like, yeah. I mean, like last year he said it in post-game press conferences. He's like, well, you know, defense we're the best in the nation, offense, but like he would talk about the fact like we are the best, we have the best. He didn't shy away from it. Yeah. So I mean, I don't want to count UConn out. I mean, if I had to think of anybody else, to me, Duke and St. John's are the ones that kind of stand out with me the most. I think the other two, I would say stay tuned because we got a bracket challenge that you know about. Yeah. And the Wake Up Call Bracket Challenge is nationwide. We have been on Yahoo for years. We've made the Yahoo top 50 bracket pools in the world. We've made the top 25. We have had membership-wise some of the biggest brackets in the history of like Yahoo doing it apparently.
Oh wow, so that's big.
So I'm looking to build it again because when Yahoo a few years back pre-COVID, when they got hacked, they literally deleted my entire inventory of membership. Oh wow! Like they restarted everybody and all the stuff. So I've had to build it back up over the years. So I'm hoping this year we get to make some history again. Okay. You got one more question for me before we get Mr. Joyner on here.
All right. So since we're in Buffalo, where in Buffalo you were most likely looking forward to eat at?
I'm looking forward to eating some true good chicken wings when people talk about Buffalo, because I went to this place. They're, oh, we got to go here, da da da, and this guy brought me to this place that looked like it looked like a house. And you walk in, it's just like a big room, little white house, and they put these wings in front of us. I don't like flabby, like gooey wings. The sauce was it was mild sauce, basic sauce. Sauce was terrible. Wing texture was terrible. I didn't even want to eat any of it. I thought I was going to get like salmonella. I was not about anything about it. So I got a friend who used to live here, and they told me, hey, when you get down there, I'm going to give you some wing spots. Take care of you. So I'm going to lean on them today to tell me where to go. And I'll get back to you about it. All right. But Lord knows that going through like tooth surgery and all that, I'm ready to eat some chicken wings again.
Okay, but this spot is good. That's where we're going to have our team dinner for national championship.
All right. Okay. And yeah, listen, it's a business trip, and we are here through Friday. That is the plan for people like Mr. Joyner, who have been with this program forever. I want to see him. I want to see Shamari get to end on the top of the mountain. I think they've worked hard enough to have that place.
Yeah, I think they deserve that, and that'll be a great send off for both of them. They've been here since 2022, so they've been doing a great job with the organization and just helping us build from there. So happy to see them.
So with that being said, we're going to take a step aside for a fast break inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Wake Up Call all week long is live on site on location in Buffalo, New York for the USCAA Division I Men's Basketball National Tournament. We will be back here with Darren Joyner right after this. Appreciate you.
In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
All right, you need to come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking about this with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, there's no better sandwich in the state of New York than the Brooklyn Pickle. And now that I found out that they're going down to North Carolina, we are taking over your taste buds everywhere you are, wherever you're going to be. You need to get yourself out to the Brooklyn Pickle. Pinehurst, you just realized that you found yourself the best sandwich shop that you're ever going to have. This is a glorious moment. It's a blessing to your community. You're welcome. Brooklyn in the house, baby. Go over to the Brooklyn Pickle. You already know what it is.
You heard the man. Head to Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst on 1788 Old Morgantown Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina.
And welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We are on site, on location here in Buffalo for the USCAA Division I Men's Basketball Tournament, the number one overall seed in the entire country. Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse from my hometown. Mr. Joyner is a senior on this squad, a senior guard for the team. And Darren, I feel like personally you've been here forever. Because you and I started talking, we talked years back. And I feel like you have become a face of the program, just a huge piece of it. Do you feel that? Do you feel like Bryant and Stratton is like truly on your heart now?
Yeah, Bryant and Stratton is definitely home. You know, I've been here for a while, 3 years in college. Definitely grown on me. Just excited. This is my last year. I'm excited to bring home a national championship. That's what my focus is right now.
You've seen talented teams over the years. You've seen guys that could ball. But what is it about this team that is an actual team, that isn't just a bunch of individuals, but an actual team?
I think that this year in specific, like, we have better chemistry. I feel like that's what we lacked in the past years. Our team this year, we're all on the same page. We all have the same goal. And it shows that we're all working towards the same goal during the regular season. So all that preparation and dedication to regular season is all for this moment right here.
Not about personal accolades, not about what we could do individually, but what you could do together.
Yeah.
How have you seen that culture develop itself, where this is a team where we can constructively talk to each other, we can have difficult conversations, and we can grow as a team, as a unit, and it's not just a bunch of guys looking out for their own stats?
I would say just getting put in tough situations, like certain games where we lose by 2-3 points, like those type of games, they hurt.
Yeah.
And in those type of moments, that's where we learn the most, like what we did wrong, what we could have done better. Like, it's really, for our team, it's really all about the little things, like showing effort from the gate, you know, boxing out, hoping to help. It's really about the little things that will get us over the hump.
You faced Berkeley twice this year. Beat them at home, lost to them on the road. What is it about Berkeley that you think about from those two games, now that you know that you'll be playing them in this first game of the national tournament?
I feel like this game, to me, is kind of personal because we lost to them at home, at their place, and I definitely feel like that shouldn't have happened, so definitely take that a little personal. But for them, I feel like the game that we lost, they were just playing harder than us. Like, they showed more effort, and they were crashing the glass a lot. That's what our weakness was that game. So that's going to be our main focus today, you know, rebounding and just limiting certain players.
So what is it about this team that makes you feel like y'all are ready to change, to make history? You know, been to the national tournament, but being the number one overall seed, being in this place, what makes you believe that this team can take that step, go farther, to not just be in the tournament, but to stay in the tournament?
I would say just having that fire, you know, like everybody, I feel like talking to everybody on the team, like they just have that fire, like they're ready to go. Like me included, like we're ready to go. Like we want tomorrow to come already. Like we're not really worried about like the skills and nothing. We want to play, like, and I feel like that's what's gonna, the effort and the fire, wanting it more. That's what's gonna hold us over when playing in the tournament.
So for you with this team, as you're getting ready for that, what do you do in this meantime, in the in-between? We traveled down here yesterday. Today we have practice. There's the skills challenges. There's a banquet. How do you keep this team locked in? How do you guys make sure that everybody's focused when you said you're itching to play?
Yeah, it's kind of hard. It's not easy. You know, everybody's excited. Everybody's anxious to play.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, just taking it day by day, you know, you can also just, you know, enjoy yourself. You know, we're here for a couple of days. We have some time off to prepare, just focus on the preparation. And find ways where, you know, you can help your team out. If we're doing film, you know, study certain players, stuff like that. Just doing more preparation for Tuesday so we're more prepared.
When you talk to the guys, being a veteran on this team, what do you get, like, as a leader, what type of vibe do you get in, you know, when you're in the classroom, when you're in the dorm room, when you're walking around and whatnot, and just in practice, when you're on the bus coming down here yesterday? What's that vibe that you kind of get from the guys, because you've had a sense of this program for so long? So I know you said, like, guys are together, they want to work together, they want to be there for each other, but what's the vibe? Like, if you could talk about the air, walking through the air, what's the air feel like?
I would say for this team specifically, what I love so much is that we're selfless. Like, the team this year, we play for one another. Like, we don't really care about, like, the individual stats. We don't care about, you know, all the individual accolades. Like, we want to play as a team.
Yeah.
Like, we're willing, players on our team, we have so much talent. Like, we're willing to make the sacrifice just so we can make a better play for others. And I feel like that's what's going to make us stand out in the tournament.
For you, Darren, how have you seen yourself grow? When you look in the mirror and you see Darren Joyner today, what's different?
I would say being more of a leader. My first year here, I had the leader in me, but it was quiet. And I feel like that's grown so much, just learning more about myself, learning more about the program, learning more about my coach. I would say my leadership has been better, just understanding how, you know, people act, how people move, and how I should treat certain situations. Being put in a lot of situations over the years, I was able to learn from them. So I would say just, you know, helping my team the best way I can in any situation. I feel like I got better at that.
Do you feel like if you speak to somebody, they'll listen, they'll hear you out?
Yeah, definitely. I would say that my team does respect me. Yeah, if there's a certain situation, like, I'm one of the first people you go to on the team, you know, being one of the captains, just, you know, trying to handle any situation in the best way as possible.
You and Shamari, one final road. Have you guys talked about, like, we can't go home?
Every day. Every day, we talk about it every day. Even before we left our room, we said the only way we coming back in this room is being a champion. Like, that's the only way we coming back. That's the only way we're going to be getting back on that bus on Friday with a championship. Like, this is our last year. We don't really have a choice. Like, we have to win this, you know. Lost first round last year, lost first round the year before that. Like, we're not trying to go through that again, and we can't let that happen.
What is it like being with Shamari? What is that relationship like for the two of you to not only be veterans on the team, but to be close?
Yeah.
Because there's vets on plenty of teams, and they don't have chemistry.
Yeah.
What is the chemistry like for you guys?
I mean, I think everybody knows, like, that's my dog, Shamari. We've been hooping together for a long time, like, since, like, middle school, been on the same AU team. So just hooping with him in college, we already had that built chemistry established, you know.
Yeah.
He knows my game, I know his game, and our games pretty much complement each other. And, you know, he's always had my back, always had his. So the chemistry is always going to be there, and that just helps us even more on the court.
Clay said to me, you are the first, like after the game, the first thing you're doing, you're on the bus and you're already watching the film. He's like, he's pulled up the video. It's not just to watch his highlights. It's to break it down and see just get into the film, dive into it. Why are you like that? Why are you so film oriented where nobody has to beg you to watch it?
One, I enjoy studying the game. You know, I love the game. And two, I just want to gain as much knowledge on my opponents as possible. Like, me being a defender, me loving to play defense, I just want to know all my opponent's tendencies. You know, I want to study. I want to try to figure out how they think and why they do certain moves in certain situations.
Yeah.
Just so when I'm put in that situation, I know what to do. Yeah, I just want to limit my opponent as much as possible. You know, if I find any other tendencies about other players that I'm not guarding, I would probably inform my teammates about that if they haven't realized certain things and when they watch film. So I just do the best thing I could do, just help my teammates out, help myself out, just keep studying.
You said you love playing defense. I think you need to do like a seminar for the NBA. Why do you love playing defense?
Me being honest, I think it all came down to when I was younger. I think I was like in 10th grade or 11th grade.
Okay.
I really never really, like I cared about defense, but I never really cared that much about defense until that specific time where I was going against a tough opponent and he was like really going at me and like I started, like, he was scoring at will on me, and then I started to take that personal because, like, at that point, it didn't feel like just basketball. It just felt like pride, you know? Mm-hmm. So then that's, like, from that point on, that's when I chose to take more of a priority in defense. Like, I take certain assignments personally. I don't want people to score on me. So I'm willing to go the extra mile so people aren't scoring on me, like, you know, film, studying people's tendencies, paying attention to how people dribble, certain stuff like that. Like I don't want to be in situations where people want me think I can't play defense. So I'm willing to go the extra mile to show people that you don't want to try to go by me, you don't want to try to score, you just want to pass the ball. I just want people to think that when they see me guarding them.
Well, to whoever did that to this man in high school, thank you for giving us that at Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse. What is you can ask me one question, anything in the world, rapid fire, because you get the final note because we're getting ready for practice. What's your question for me?
Rapid fire. First question, what's your why? What gets you up in the morning? What motivates you to do this every day?
God. I love what I do. I do what I love. He helped me figure that out. He helped me hone it, learn it. We built this in the trenches. I tell people, like, there was air in front of my face, and I just started to mold it and try to turn it into something, and I would talk with him, and okay, maybe try this, and God's my best friend. He's my why, he's my everything. He's constantly directing me, and I ask him to direct me. There is no small piece, there is no big piece. Every piece of this puzzle, I'm like, what do we need to do here? How can we do this here? And he's taught me how to have confidence, how to trust myself, how to just lean on myself, lean on that faith that whatever's in front of us, we can do it. And something inside of me this year to speak to God and trusting that, something said to me, like, I don't want to hear about this championship. I don't want to watch it from afar. Something was like, put down everything you do. You normally go to the ACC. You normally go to the Big East. You do all this stuff. You cover the American, which I do virtually as well. And it was like inside of me, talking to Dallas and David, and you and I have spoken before, I was like, I have to be there this year. I have to be with this team. I feel the energy. It feels different, and I just have to be here. And it's like I told you guys on the bus, I am here to tell a story of a national champion.
Yeah, nothing else.
So with that being said, Darren Joyner, he's got to get ready for practice. I got to get ready for practice. So I'm going to let you do your thing. We're going to take a step aside for a fast break from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Wake Up Call on-site on location all week long because we got a business trip here in Buffalo, New York for the USCAA Division I National Tournament and your number one seed, the Bryant and Stratton College of Syracuse Bobcats. We will be back to wrap things up right after this, but not before I say thank you, sir. Appreciate
you for having me.
Thanks, Darren.
Thank you.
We'll talk with you soon.
Sir. Thank you, man.
I appreciate you. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there, and of course you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100, and also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes. Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McNerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Brian and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Brian and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
head to Brian's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Janesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here is a special message from Brian Bruno, owner of Servomation Refreshments Incorporated.
I grew up in the family business. Had the experience of working for a national food service company with thousands of employees. And as much as I enjoyed the experience I had, there's something about, owning my own company and being able to change the things I saw wrong with the industry firsthand, which is why I moved back to my hometown in Canastota, New York to launch Servomation. It was back in 2007. When we first started the business in 2007, really you didn't find any machines with credit card readers. There was a lack of variety in machines. You got stuck with basically whatever the vending company wanted to sell that day. There was a lot of inefficiencies in the business, and those were all things that we saw as opportunities, both from a customer level to improve and from an operating level to be more efficient. We've really been at the forefront of introducing retail technology into our space. We were doing self-checkout back in 2009 before it really became a national phenomenon. The whole point of it isn't to just improve the customer experience. It's to make it feel more like a retail environment where people don't have to be afraid of what they're buying behind glass. They don't have to be afraid of not being able to see the ingredients of the packages. It was an easy transaction from that standpoint. If we were to reinvent something, we wanted to make sure what we were making looked and felt more like a deli and not like something that you would traditionally see in a vending machine. I was tired of hearing for years the customers say the wheel of death because the vending machine would circle around with the same tuna salad in it. What we wanted to do was it really change the perception of that food. So allowing customers to touch it, allowing customers to feel the weight of it, allow customers to see the freshness of it, and also the variety of it really helps them change the perception and ultimately the value of what we bring to them. The point of differentiation you have to make is either in value or the quality. And I think on both of those fronts, Servomation has really, in large part, changed that value system for employees. So they no longer have to worry about bringing their food from home or having to leave their desk during the day and rush out to get back in time for their break to end. We're bringing something that they can count on in their break room every day, and they know it's going to be there, they know it's going to be fresh, and they don't have to worry about it being sold out or something that they don't enjoy. We've also heavily invested in flavored water machine, so you can get a glass of water with a fresh piece of fruit in it, along with bean to cup coffee machine. So there's not a day that goes by we're not surprised when we get customers that call us and say, we didn't know you could do all this. We're really lucky to have a strong group of dedicated employees. Most of our employees have been with us since inception. They're family to us, and people like doing business with people they like and trust. And I think the same thing goes for employees. In a day and an age where there's a lot of corporations that just look at an employee as a number and don't get to know them, that's just not the way I was raised or how I like to do business. So we're a little old-fashioned. We like getting close to our employees. We like knowing how we can help them. We like knowing how we can improve their lives, adjust their schedules, whatever it may be to help improve their quality of life. And we think in the end that makes for a happier employee. We're fortunate enough to have really grown over the last several years, and from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts to Connecticut, we really do have a strong connection, even though we're not in the rooms every day with these employees. There's not one single employee that we feel like we don't know, and certainly we know they can call us at any time, and they're definitely treated as family to us. I wake up every single day really excited to surprise our customers in a good way. The one thing I can tell you is I think that every one of our employees and every one of our customers will continue to be at the forefront of every decision we make.
Find out how Servomation can help you and your business by going to servomation.com.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvelange, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family friendly. Some family friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York is your one-stop shop for all your sports card and trading card needs. Head over there Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6 and on Sundays from 10 to 5 on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York for everything that you could ask for in a fantastic sports card shop where we get to be big kids every single day. Big time thanks for you watching and listening on youtube.com and facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT and on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. Of course, you can find us on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. Search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Many thanks from New York to North Carolina for the Brooklyn Pickle in Southern Pines on 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. And, of course, to our team of partners in Central and Upstate New York, Great Lakes Honda City, where we have our studios with you on the road and at home. Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Breaks, Servomation, Mon Paz, Avicoli's, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Mother's Cupboard, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Pizza Man, Brian's Landing, and we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins, Bryant and Stratton College Bobcats, and Binghamton Bearcats. You can find them all by going to youtube.com /WakeUpCallDT. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, find the Lemoyne playlist, as well as the BSC Syracuse playlist and the Binghamton playlist. You can get more information by going to LeMoyneDolphins.com, Syracuse.bscbobcats.com to follow their Bobcats in this national tournament in the quest toward a national championship, and you can go to BinghamtonBearcats.com. For now, from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, I say, God bless, no stress, do your best. We'll talk soon.